Very good afternoon, very good evening, I should say. Welcome to the home of football. This is Molyneux. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me, as you can see, is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and surely the future Hall of Famer, dangerous Dave Edwards, is alongside us as well. We had to bring in a man who's once scored a winner against Manchester City. Of course we did. It might have been more than a decade ago, but it's still worth seeing time and time again, especially because he scored against his Shrewsbury mate. So he will love seeing this. The goal poacher extraordinaire, Dave Edwards.
Oh, look at that energy. Don't have that anymore, mate. No, that was amazing. That's one of my most favourite moments in a Wolves shirt. Huge result, beating Man City when they just started to get all their money as well. So there were some big players. They had the likes of Company, Yaya Toure, Robinho, all that sort of era. But yeah, couldn't miss really when I got to that point, could I? But no, it was an amazing moment for me. And a big result at that point in the season as well.
Big question is, Tomo, who's going to be the Dave Edwards of today? We'll talk about that specifically a little bit later on. But we come into this game on the back of a bit of confidence, having turned things around at Stamford Bridge, admittedly leaving it very, very late.
Yeah, so it was nice to see, wasn't it? Sellock actually coming back after being 2-0 down. Sellock, it's a rarity this season. But they showed some spirit to come back, and they did create opportunities throughout the game. I thought that so they had the best chance in the first half. So he's having a couple on there as well. Dendonka hitting that one over. But again, it's about showing character, and I know it's towards the end of the season. And they definitely showed that on the weekend.
And sometimes, Dave Edwards, it's funny, isn't it? It was a draw, but we were sat in the services on the journey back on Saturday night, and all of us were kind of letting slip, saying, "Oh, the win," because it felt like a win, and to Chelsea it would have felt like a defeat, and therefore coming into tonight, they have to take that confidence that they snatched a point from very much the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, it really gives us some momentum going into the season. Another tough game, obviously, but I thought Wolves played well on Saturday. I thought first half they were very disciplined, like they'll have to be tonight. Defended well, and they had some good opportunities on the counter-attack, like Tomo said. They just switched off for 15 minutes after half-time, but they finished the game so strong. Like, it's everything we want to see from a Wolves team. It was high energy, it was attacking football, players really putting their foot on, playing with quality, technique, and when you score a 97th minute injury time winner in front of the away end, which I was lucky enough to be in, that does feel like a win. And they've got to try and harness that energy, that belief, everything they took from those last few minutes at Stamford Bridge and bring it here tonight, because it's a tough game. But on a night game at Molyneux, you've got to fancy, if Man City are going to slip up this season, it's going to be tonight.
How big were the limbs when Conor Coady scored?
Incredible. I was on the second row of the top tier, and I nearly went over the top. It was wild, but it was amazing for me. I've not, because obviously been playing up until recently. I went with my little boy, and it was just the most magical day. And when something like that happens, I'm looking across me, and he's going mad. He's going mental. He's having limbs himself. It was amazing, and it just made the journey back amazing. The atmosphere as we were leaving the stadium, Wolves fans were overjoyed.
A question to both of you, really, because you'll have both been in the situation. I don't know whether you spotted it from the away end, Edo, but Tomo and I certainly did from our vantage point, which was, I guess, 10 rows behind the dugout, really. So quite low and quite able to see. And when there was a moment just before they restarted, having conceded the second goal, and I looked at João Moutinho, and I looked at the body language and the way he turned and looked to the bench, and then he looked at some of his teammates, and clearly a few words were then said, and Conor Coady did a similar thing. And almost that kind of element of the senior players having gone through the run that they'd gone through, because it could have quite easily gone down the Brighton route and got horribly worse. The senior players, it felt like, took a stand and said no more and turned that game on its head. Is that fair, Tomo? Have you been in that situation before?
Yeah, so you've been in that situation before, so like with the senior players, trying to get the team going, trying to get behind them. And sometimes some words are said to each of them. We said this before about when results haven't gone for you. that somebody's got to say something. In my opinion, somebody's got to say so. I'm sure Edo was be the same as well in his teams as well, that he had somebody who's actually going to speak up and say something, and it needs to be said, because like the way that they give away the 2 goals, okay, a little bit silly for the penalty, but the second goal, so like again, it was. I'm sure that they wouldn't want to see it again, but they showed a lot of promise in that game, where the Chelsea game, where they actually had a go and push forward. In the 3 games prior to that, we never really offered anything going forward, and they did look at each other and time again throughout those 3 games. And it's about getting behind each other, a bit of helping each other. And that was the thing that happened at the weekend. They thought, hang on a minute, we've had opportunities, we've had chances to score goals, we've got some here. If we get at Chelsea, if we cause them a problem, and by keeping the ball, because they didn't really do that well in the first 15 minutes of the first half, and then that little bit in the second half. But they knew that they could hurt Chelsea. They knew that they could do it. And he's having that belief. But it takes somebody to say something sometimes, and that's what you saw at the weekend.
Yeah, I agree completely, Tommy. You'd have thought when that second goal went, and if you're a betting man and you said there's going to be another 2 goals in that game, you'd have thought it'd be a 4-0 right to Chelsea off the back of Wolves' 3 previous games and people starting to question the character in the squad. I thought that was a huge reaction, and I was too far away to kind of see what was happening on the pitch with messages being sent on and who were the ones who were driving it. From a performance point of view, I thought Leander Dendoncker, that last half an hour was incredible. He was the one who was winning the ball back. He was the one who was trying to get them on the front foot again. He played a crucial part in the first goal, didn't he? That he won the ball back and played out wide. So I saw that in the players when they could have quite easily gone under. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea would have thought it was going to be a rout, 100%. And they were committing bodies forward, and Wolves were winning the ball back, and they were attacking quick. They didn't do that enough in the first half. When they won the ball, a lot of the time, they would try and retain possession. They would go backwards, back to the back 3, back to Jose Sarr, and try and play their football, whereas they just went for the throat second half. And I thought that was really critical in getting those 2 goals.
Yeah, because I think that the Brighton game, hurt the Brighton game with the manner, the way that they played, and look, it wasn't pretty to watch, was it? But they say that defeat, but I think it was the manner that they lost the game that hurt a lot of the players, and I think that they realised, especially when going 2 behind, that they thought, hang on a minute, we can't let this happen again, and they dug deep and got something back out of the game, and it's nice to see, it's refreshing to see that they don't think the game's over, and so they can get something out of the game, even against one of the big teams in the division.
We'll discuss the team news very shortly. We'll hear from Carlos Cachada as well, the 3rd man in a week to be leading things at pitch side for Wolves after we've looked back at the best from Saturday at Stamford Bridge. Alonso's corner, whipped in towards the near post, and somehow turned in at the far post by Loftus-Cheek. Yep, goal disallowed, offside. Hit the ankles of Aït-Nouri and Neves early, and what a good ball, and suddenly it's 2-on-2, and it's Pedro Neto driving on the left-hand side up against Thiago Silva, twisting and turning into the box and striking, comes back, Dendonker's missed it.
What a miss.
Neto battling away with Aspilicueta. Here comes Bolly, and he can try and release Rayan Aït-Nouri, and it's Aït-Nouri running through the middle, 1-on-1, it's the penalty area, Aït-Nouri over the top of the crossbar. How many chances do they want? That's the right side to Aspilicueta. Pulisic looking for Lukaku. Saiss, now Saiss has got himself in trouble. He trips Lukaku. Lukaku, left-footed, whistle blown, steps up, strikes it low, sends Jose Sarr the wrong way, and Chelsea lead at Stamford Bridge. Here comes Lukaku. Chelsea threatening another, and they've got it. Lukaku from the edge of the penalty area. His 2nd goal in a matter of minutes. And in comes the Kovacic. Wolves had a breakaway on now. Good footing by Dendoncker. And Chiquinho to try and carry it. Trying to release Trincao. Wolves have a 3-on-2. Trincao up towards the edge of the box. Cutting in field. Curling it. Yes, they're back in the game. Trincao curls it. Beautiful finish. Wolves have themselves a lifeline. Now a little one to João Moutinho. All the play suddenly in the Chelsea half. Johnny's flick. Trincao in behind. It's the penalty area. Low one. Just wide. Deflected. What a challenge by Thiago Silva. Aït-Nouri on his left-hand side, over the halfway line he goes. Trying to play it forwards for the run of Hee-Chan Wang. Awkward bounce here. Comes through to Dendonk on the edge of the box. Trincao out to the right-hand side to Chiquinho. This could be the moment. The cross comes in. Coady! It's there! It's there! It's there! Wolves have stolen themselves a point at Stamford Bridge in the most dramatic of circumstances!
Conor, what a moment that was. We could see you absolutely loved it, didn't you?
That was amazing. It was amazing. I thought, listen, to score any goal, I think it's incredible for this football club. I've said it before, but I've not scored many over the last few years. But to do it like that in the 97th minute, show the character that we've got, that's never ever gone away. I'll be honest, that's what we've always kept. I thought we deserved more from the game. We've had a mad 5 minutes where we've given 2 mistakes away, and you do that against a world-class team, they punish you, and that's what they've done. So it was important we show our character, and listen, we've done that. I thought Chiquinho's ball was outstanding, and I just needed to get a touch on it. Yeah.
That away end was absolutely jumping. It was incredible atmosphere at the moment there. After a difficult couple of weeks, did that moment mean even more to you, the players and the fans?
First and foremost, it wasn't just at that moment. All game, we could hear them all game. Even when we went behind, we could hear them again. And they drive us, they push us, I say it, week after week after week. They come in 1,000, they drive us and push us. But listen, we've had to look at ourselves. A lot of people have said a few things over the last couple of weeks about us, and it's hurt us. We've heard a few things that are on the beach and all that sort of keep it, if I'm being honest with you. And we're humans, it hurts us. It's never ever the case with this football club, with our team as players, with us as footballers, and it's hurt us. So we've looked at ourselves, we've looked at where we've gone wrong. It's not been good enough for a few weeks, and today was all about performance, coming in and trying to put in performance to make sure that we were together, we were compact. And like I said, other than a mad 5 minutes where you give 2 mistakes away and you give a world-class striker a chance to score, I thought we were in control of everything we've done. So massive performance for us and a massive result, and we can take it forward now.
What a great strike it was from Francisco Trincao as well. He made such a huge impact off the bench. Are you pleased for him, his 3rd goal now of the season?
Outstanding, but we know what he brings as a player, and listen, I think that's what he can do. We see it in training every single day, cutting on his left and putting him in the far corner like that. He's got such a lovely strike, and he moves the ball so well when he shoots, and he's a fantastic footballer. So you see what he's done when he's come on today, him and Chiquinho. I was absolutely made up for the both of them, but both of them were outstanding. We needed them. I think that goes to show what a bench is about, what a team is about, because you've got lads coming on the pitch making a real difference. So I'm absolutely over the moon for him, yeah.
Well, the fans have gone home very, very happy today, but 3 big games still to come. What does it mean going into those now?
Huge. It was important. We stopped a little bit of a rot. We were in a rot. It was something where you don't want to be in them. But like I said, a lot of people have said a few things, and we've used that before the game because it's done our heads in. I'll be honest with you, it's been something that's really done our heads in, because it's not true. It's not something that we like to hear as footballers, and we understand that when you're playing bad, people have opinions on you. But this club will always come through it, and we've got a real good group of lads in that change room. We wanted to try and put things right with a good performance, and I thought we'd done that today.
Well, thank you, Conor, for another special moment, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Nice one.
Thank you.
Conor Coady having got the goal that got Wolves a point on Saturday. There is one change to the starting lineup. No Romain Saiss, who went off injured in that game, but it is a pretty attacking move from Bruno Lage, who again watches on from Compton in isolation. Chiquinho starts, and we anticipate that Johnny is going to play as part of the back 3, as he did towards the end of the game at Stamford Bridge. So Jose Sarr in goal, Johnny, Conor Coady and Willy Bolly switching over to the left, then Chiquinho, Dendonka, Neves, Moutinho and Aït-Nouri, with Raul Jimenez and Pedro Neto as the 2 up top. Tomo, your reaction to that? It's bold, isn't it?
It's bold, but I thought that Chiquinho did well when he come on at the weekend. Down that right-hand side, supplied the ball for Conor Coady's equaliser, and he looked sharp. He looked sharp on there. And look, there's a few games left. He's come on in spells, and he's had a decent few games when he has come on. He's looked sharp. He's looked lively. And I think it's a great opportunity for him. So, look, you're coming up against the champions today. It's going to be a tough test, but it's nice to see that you're going to see somebody who's going to get that ball and drive forward down that right-hand side. We've got Aït-Nouri down this left-hand side, hopefully doing exactly the same. So, look, it's looking promising, because I think the only way that you can beat Man City is to take the game to them. And I think he's still got to be conservative, don't get me wrong. He's still got to be careful. But I think the best way of what we have won, the games that we have won against them, that we took the game to them a little bit rather than sitting back. Because you know for a fact that Man City are just going to open you up. If you sit back and try and defend or try and hold on to something, then they're just going to open you up. But look, we're just laughing a little bit about their line-up, about the bench and everything as well. They've got quality players, and we know that. But what it is, and I've said this before, if we play on our game, we can give anybody a game in this league, and I still stand by that.
We'll talk more about Chiquinho in just a second, Dave Edwards, but Tomo mentions the Manchester City team. There was no recognised striker, though they haven't really played that way most of the season. We think Phil Foden is going to be the more advanced man in the false nine role, with Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva behind him, Ilkay Gundogan and Rodri. Then it's in defence where City are a little bit light. So Fernandinho is expected to play in the back four alongside Aymeric Laporte, with Cancelo and Zinchenko as the fullbacks. I mean, it's still a really good team, still really good players, and this is a really tough game.
Yeah, it's always going to be a tough game against this Man City team. The way they keep the ball, the way they tire you out when you're out of possession, working you around the pitch. They're so clever with their patterns of play. It's so hard to defend against that. I think they picked Chiquinho for that reason, that the Wolves are going to have to play on the counter-attack, and when they do counter-attack, they're going to have to go with pace. But I just hope Wolves get those opportunities, because when you go for that City lineup, it is incredible. I think the one area where you can maybe look to exploit is if you can get Raul Jimenez on his A game, get him up against Fernandinho. Fernandinho hasn't looked great in his last few performances. He had a tough time against Real Madrid. I know he's playing against Vinicius Junior, so it's quite different, but I think that's one area where they'll look to exploit. If they can go directly into Raul Jimenez and he can use his strength and his power and try and get around Fernandinho and slip balls down the side of him for Neto, and if Chiquinho's higher up the pitch, that's the area where I think you can hurt City. But going forward, City are formidable, and Wolves are going to be at their absolute defensive best to keep them out tonight.
Certainly is going to be a formidable task. The man that's charged with trying to lead Wolves into it, having seen Bruno Lage go down with COVID at the back end of last week, it was handed to the goalkeeper coach, Tony Roberts, to lead the team on Saturday. He did well. He's subsequently gone down with COVID. So now it's the fitness coach, Carlos Cachada, who's in charge for tonight.
You have the opportunity to have an impact on the title race. Of course, Manchester City coming up and Liverpool in a couple of games' time. Are the players excited about the opportunity that they can show their quality at this stage of the season against two of the country's best?
So the guys, to be fair, doesn't talk too much about that, because we still have our aims, our goals to do it. So the guys are focused on that, and that's it.
And those aims are? What are the aims of the players in the last few games?
So the aims of the players is to get the best points we get it on the table. If we can reach on a 7th position, much better.
As a Liverpool fan, when he was a younger boy, Conor Coady, is he encouraging his teammates to put in a special effort against Manchester City?
Conor Coady is encouraged his mates to get the best for the next 3 games.
Carlos, just finally from me, City have kept clean sheets in their last 5 league away games. Mm-hmm. How do they make it difficult on the road for teams to score? And what are you particularly impressed about with this Manchester City side? Why do you enjoy watching them?
So, we're talking about top coaches, top coach, top team, top players. They are really good in all sides, not just to keep the clean sheets. So in all sides of the game, offensive, defensive, set pieces, they are really good in all. We try to just to get our best, to change that direction, to try to score a goal on the next game.
We're here for our final night game of the Premier League season under the lights at Molineux, or at least we will be when the sun sets a little bit later on, for Wolves v Man City. Now, Wolves are coming into today full of confidence and riding on that momentum that we built last time out away at Chelsea. What an incredible comeback that was to take a point at Stamford Bridge. And tonight we have the chance to cause another upset, this time in the race for the title. Manchester City are currently top of the Premier League table, but it's only goal difference keeping them there at the moment, as they are level on points with Liverpool, who beat Aston Villa away last night. So they need to come away with some points here tonight to give themselves that advantage going into these final few games of the season. Now, our record against Man City is a bit mixed over the years. Our last 3 matches may have ended in losses, but we did do the league double over City in the season before that. So who knows what could happen here tonight. But Manchester City are on an incredible run of form, as they have been all season long. They beat Newcastle United 5-0 last weekend and Leeds 4-0 in the game before that. But who knows what can happen on a night game here at Molineux. The atmosphere is always electric, and tonight will be no different.
Gemma Frith with a bit of context for tonight's game. As you can see, Dave Edwards and Andy Thompson alongside me. Let's have a bit more of a chat about Chiquinho then, because he came off the bench to basically assist both goals on Saturday. He starts tonight for the first time in his short Wolves career. Dave Edwards, what did you make of him from the away end on Saturday? Because he's clearly quite raw, isn't he?
Yeah, he is raw, but he was a breath of fresh air. He really was. When he came on, it was like he was determined to take advantage of this opportunity, and he just did what you want from a young player. He didn't show any sign of fear. He was aggressive in his running. He got Wolves up the pitch. And what I was most surprised about was his actual quality. His crosses into the box were excellent. He put 3 or 4 really good balls in, and the one for Conor Coady was an absolute delight. An absolute dream for an oncoming attacker to try and get on the end of it. But I think more than anything, it was his energy, his desire. He was brave in the tackle. And tonight is going to be so important for him, because if Wolves going to play on the counter-attack, they're going to need him. He's going to be the ball carrier. He's going to be the one who's going to get him up the pitch with a 50, 60-yard run. Nori on the other side, he will get forward, but he's more technical, whereas Chiquinho can use his raw pace and his power to really push on up that right-hand side, and hopefully that will be an area that Wolves can use to their advantage.
It's funny, isn't it, Tomo, that we've spent the last couple of weeks bemoaning the fact that Wolves don't have anyone, or didn't have anyone, who just put the ball in the penalty area, and there he was all along. I mean, you see there the speed defensively that he may be called into using quite a few times tonight, but it's this kind of delivery that we'll see in a second, which is what really gets people excited about him.
Yeah, it is, and we've said this for quite a bit, and we've said about the delivery and putting the ball in the box, and it just goes to prove, if you put the ball in the box, put it in the right area, you've got an opportunity to score. And that was proven at the weekend when against Chelsea. If you put the ball into the box, so like people are attack it, and you've got one of your defenders who's still up there from the previous attack, who's actually got his head on it, Conor, and getting the equaliser. So look,
you know, the thing is though, both of you can tell us that cross is a lot harder than it looks, right? To get the body shape to be able to do that first time.
Yeah, it's a difficult cross, but so look, these players have got the ability to do that. They can put the ball into an area, and when we've always said, don't try and pick somebody out. If you put it into an area, you're always going to be there or thereabouts. I'm sure Dave scored a lot of goals where he knew the ball was coming, he knew when to time his run, and that's where he got his goals from. A lot of them. So look, it's about putting the ball in the right area, and that's what you saw at the weekend with that great ball in for Conor Coady's equaliser.
Yeah, going back to the actual cross for the goal, you're right, Mikey. That's a real difficult technique when the ball's played across your body to get your stride pattern right to be able to put the ball into the box first time. It's almost like you need to kind of flick your right foot at it and just try and put a little bit of spin on the ball. But he really aggressively went for it. And with his crossing, it looks like he's all or nothing. So he is going to commit to putting a good cross in. And I'm sure there'll be times tonight where he overhits it or where he hits the first man. But it's because he's trying to put a good ball in the box. He's not being safe. He's not just trying to hang it up so centre-half can just come and head it away. He's trying to put it in a real specific area. There's going to be human error with that. So expect that tonight. But say the 3 or 4 he put it on Saturday were an absolute dream. He made Chelsea defend them. And then the one that did come off, as I say, it's a dream for an oncoming attacker, that ball that came in for Conor Coady.
But that was the kind of ball that you thrived on, though, wasn't it? So like, that kind of ball, you knew it was coming in. And so like, you had people in when you were playing that you knew the delivery was going to come in.
And that's the point about Raúl Jiménez, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
If they're going to get the best out of Raúl, it's in a game like this where put it in there and let him attack it.
I think that he's wandering around the pitch trying to get involved, basically, rather than him staying between those posts, something that we want him to do. he's getting frustrated, he's going in search of the ball, and that means that he's out of position for when the ball does come into his cross. How many times do we see people checking back because there's nobody in there? Well, if he knew it was going to come in, you would know that he's going to be in there because he's desperate to score, especially with his head, which is something that he's always been known for, where he's got his head and ability. Look, it's all about making sure you put that ball into the right area to allow your strikers to get. And we did that at the weekend. In the previous 3 games, we didn't see much of it. We didn't really create that much, with too many touches. And it's refreshing to see that when the lads come on and he's bursting forward. But as we said, tough technique, but what a great ball in for the equaliser.
There's nothing worse as an attacker when you make your run and the ball doesn't come in. They've come out the other way and passed it. Because when you make that first run, that's the hardest for the defenders to defend. If you check out once, all of a sudden they're in a line and it's difficult then to try and get between them. And especially on Ray and Aït-Nouri's side, I think he's a wonderful footballer. He's an exciting talent. He's young, but he doesn't put the ball in the box early enough. There's times where he does the hard bit to get past his man. He's got his half a yard and then he'll chop back inside where it's there on his left foot to deliver. And if I was Raul Jimenez or Neto or Dendoncker attacking, you're screaming at him. If you get half a yard, I'm making my run. You have to deliver it.
We talk about Raul Jimenez. He had a bit of a day to forget the last time these two met. It was at the Etihad earlier in the season. Here's what happened.
Sterling, it's got the wrong side of Saiss in the penalty area, blocked off by Coady, Manchester City corner. I think Saiss may well have been caught by a flaying arm of Raheem Sterling as Jimenez fouls Rodri on halfway. Or Jimenez gets a yellow card.
Never. And that wasn't a yellow card.
That's from the crowd reaction more than anything else.
I thought that was harsh.
Just that weren't anywhere near the ball. Jimenez was challenging for the ball. Oh, Jimenez is going to get sent off here. He's blocked the free kick being taken. This is unbelievable. Jonathan Moss shows him a second yellow, and Wolves are down to 10 men. Cancelo's cross towards the far post and cleared off the line. Brilliant piece of defending from Conor Coady.
So Sarge just caught in no man's land, isn't he? Gundogan just got the header. Great positioning from Conor Coady though.
On for Bernardo Silva, clipping his cross in, that goes behind. Oh no, penalty! Wolves can't believe it! No, that's not a penalty.
That's not a penalty.
That's not a penalty. If VAR doesn't overturn this, it's a scandal. Andre Marion had to keep looking at it.
How's that? How's he keep looking? Is he trying to look for someone else?
Oh, they've given it.
It's ridiculous.
His face, and he slides it down the middle, and Manchester City are in front, and the real sense of injustice at the Etihad. Here's Sterling, low cross in, little back heel by Grealish. It's going to come to Bernardo. What a save by Jose Sarr. First ball into De Bruyne. On here to Gabriel Jesus, who smashes it goalwards, and it's another very good save by Jose Sarr at his near post. Aït-Nouri, Daniel Podence, left-hand side, lifts his cross in, it's Kilman! Oh, it's just tipped over the crossbar by Ederson. Millimetres away.
So that was the last time the two teams met. Manchester City have won the last 3 meetings in a row, but of course Wolves did do the league double over City when they were champions a couple of seasons ago. We will see the part 2 of that double in just a couple of moments' time to build you up towards kickoff. But I'm going to ask one of the silliest questions I have asked on Matchday Live Extra, and let's face it, I ask a lot of silly questions. Dave Edwards, what's Manchester City's biggest threat?
Where do you start? I think it's if I'm going to go for one threat, I'm going for Kevin De Bruyne. I think if the way he plays, he'll try and play on the outside of Ruben Neves all the time, make it difficult for him. So when he can receive the ball, he can open his body up on the half turn. And if he gets in that area, 30, 40, 50 yards from goal with the ball in front of him, he can kill you with one pass. And that's the one which is the hardest thing to defend. Ruben Neves can't go and man mark him tonight the way with Man City play 2 number 8s. But it's going to have to be someone else to make sure that he doesn't get that time and space.
Tomo, who are you looking at? And who in the Wolves team has got to step up and be the star player tonight?
Yeah, so I think De Bruyne is, as Dave said there, I think Bernardo Silva as well, who's a big player for them. Plays a lot of the games for him. And he's the threat, skillful with the ball running. and helps out. But I just think that Wolves have got to try and get near De Bruyne if they can. Foden, I don't think he'll stay up there. He's saying he's going to play up as that central striker. He'll be floating around. He'll be causing a problem. So for me, Selleck, I think that the movement is going to be unbelievable from Man City, and that's where they've just got to be disciplined. They've just got to be disciplined, stay with the runners, tie things up. But when we have got possession of the ball, can we keep it? Can we put something together so we can cause a problem for Man City?
Is there an element, Tomo? Sorry, we're running out of time. I just want to get to this question before I get your predictions. Is there an element for both of you? And you can start, Tomo. The pressure is on City tonight.
Oh,
they I mean, listen, our European dreams could well be over if we don't get anything. But first and foremost, all the pressure's on City. How do Wolves use that to their advantage?
Take the game to them. I just think that if you're taking the game to Man City, I say, look, it's going to give you your best opportunity to get anything out of the game. But also, as well, you can't just sit back and let Man City keep having the ball, because they're going to open up gaps, they're going to find space, and they're going to end up converting some of the chances. For me, I think being reserved, don't get me wrong, but you've got to take the game to Man City. I think their back line is probably their weakness, but it's being able to get at the back line is going to be the problem. But just for me, I say, look, I just think that if we get any chances in wide areas to get that ball in, to put it into the right areas, have opportunities in front of goal and take them, unlike we didn't at the weekend. I thought that we had some good chances. Okay, we got the 2-2, but it's about taking your chances of being clinical in that top third, and that's for me that I think that we've got to do.
Yeah, I think huge pressure on Man City tonight. They need the result, especially Liverpool's result last night. I think the way Wolves can use that against them is they've got to frustrate Man City. They've got to not let them get an early goal. The longer the game can go 0-0, they're going to get edgy. They're going to get nervy. But like Thomas says, you can't just sit in and defend for 9 minutes. Wolves have got to carry a threat as well, just to put a question in Man City's mind that they can't overcommit. So just keep the ball out of Wolves' net, especially for the first half. They can go into that second half 0-0 with having a few opportunities on the counter-attack. They'll be in a good place then to go and try and win this game of football.
We're going to do it differently tonight. We're not going to do predictions because, let's face it, Tomo will be under pressure to say 2-1 Wolves.
I'd still have it.
Edo might be the sensible one.
I've already said 2-1 Wolves.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe he's not the sensible one. Well, but yeah, and football is brilliantly unpredictable, as we saw at the weekend, and as hopefully we're going to see pan out across the next 90 minutes or so. Full live radio commentary, by the way, available for you from the three of us at wolves.co.uk and via the Wolves app. And we talk about the unpredictability of this game that we all know is oh so beautiful. It is encapsulated by a mad game here at the Molineux a couple of seasons ago between these two sides. We'll let you see that to get you in the mood for hopefully another special night.
Underway with Conor Coady as Dendoncker re-enters, and Coady with a lovely ball through the middle. Jota, it's past Edison. Edison brought him down outside the area. It's a massive decision. Martin Atkinson is reaching for his pocket. Edison's gone. Intercepted by Neves. Rodri back out wide for Riyad Mahrez. Traore with him. Mahrez still going. Oh, Mahrez took a right old tumble, and City have got four players swarming round Martin Atkinson. Whistle being blown, or about to be blown.
Penalty.
Penalty.
Never.
The South Bank behind the goal waves it away. Sterling strikes. He does save it. Rui Patricio saves. The roof is going to come off this stadium for all the wrong reasons. Man City have a corner. Oh, it's another penalty. It's a game of bluff. Sterling to step up right-footed. And Patricio saves, but Sterling taps home the rebound. Oh, now then, De Bruyne has released Sterling. Sterling's in behind, up against Patricio, lifts it over, and Manchester City have a second. As quick as you like, the champions carve Wolves open. Clearance to, Neves intercepted it from Sterling. Now here's Traore. Traore's there to the box, Lewin! Oh, are you kidding me again? Adama Traore into the bottom corner. Says to Neto, left-hand side, just outside the area. Twisting and turning against Garcia on his right foot. Cross took a deflection off a Man City head, and Benjamin Mendy Mendy thinks that's going to go. Oh, Traore's robbed him. Traore into the penalty area. Raul Jimenez! Raul Jimenez turns it home! Would you believe this? And here comes Neves. Doherty. 30 yards from goal to Jimenez. Back to Doherty. Into the area. Doherty to cycle. Oh! Matt Doherty! Matt Doherty! Matt Doherty! Into the bottom corner. Left-footed to send Molyneux into sheer pandemonium.